matchup. There's plenty to talk about within Han in general. We'll talk about that throughout the casting today. But the teams are ready. They have loaded in. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got game number 1 for your round of 64 matchup. We have Mooing Cow's House going to be taking on Farmeroso fans. Let's jump in here and start checking it out. So, as you see, MC House for short, I guess. Mooing Cow's House over there on the Legion side. Farmeroso fans on the Hellborn side. I'm not sure if Farmeroso, if that's a player name or some word in another language I don't know anything about. Who knows? But usually with these round of 64 matches, especially the early on rounds, of course, you know, as we usually do, we kind of just chose a random matchup here, hoping to get a good series out of it. We'll see if these teams come through. But there are at least a couple of names, if not one name maybe you should recognize over here, of course, on the Legion side. One Love playing for Mooing Cow's House. The great Raccoon. Again, he has some solid history in competitive Han, more so for being a fun player. But excited to see these guys over here. Excited to see, you know, get some casting back in here this week and some good matches overall. So we'll see what happens, of course. But, hell, we're already into the banning stage here. Let's jump into it and talk about what we actually see going on. So the blind bands start things off. Scout and Tempest coming out here from our Legion side. Ophelia Predator. Lockpool, you have your Rally, Parasite, Master of Arms, Engineer, Andromeda, and Keeper of the Forest. So nothing too out of the ordinary to start things out here between these two teams.
Yeah, no sign of any of the bands being tailored, obviously. This is the round of 64, so not too much research going into either team. Other than that, looking at the Master of Arms Rally combination being locked up alongside the Keeper of the Forest. Keeper is in pretty high priority, but given that he's a more passive jungler and there are other suicide lane options, he is strong, but you've seen teams actually more often than not lately favoring that Tempest when it comes to a priority pick in that pool. When it comes to something like Keeper of the Forest, you might even, I would not be surprised to see something like that passed over in favor of grabbing something like a Rally perhaps. The problem is Keeper or Master of Arms, if they do grab a Rally, first pick is still very, very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what our Legion team specifically decides to go with for their first pick out of the lock pool, but of course got a couple more phases to go through to get there. Moving on with the banning stage, Deadwood, Monkey King, Pebbles, Wretched Hag, and Magnus so far coming out. You see the final ban going to be coming out here from the Hellborn side. You see Jeraziah being right-clicked. Again, talk about a hero. We mentioned him in the last tournament, the Monkey King tournament. And he really is just one of those niche heroes. It seems like when he does get picked up, maybe he's back for a little bit, but then all of a sudden disappears again. So we'll see if maybe there's some interest there. But Magebane actually going to be the final ban coming out here for Farmeroso. So kind of another hero we really haven't seen a whole lot of lately. I mean, still a lot of potential, sure, but he's not one that's been recognized a whole lot here on the competitive scene for what there's been going on at least. But Bubbles is going to be the first pick coming out here. You know, you can never really go wrong with the Bubbles first pick, I'll say that much. So
yeah, no, it's just one thing we talk about those versatile or flexible picks. You can throw Bubbles into any lane, expect him to at least do decently. And when it comes to the suicide lane, you know, he does get boxed out by a lot of heroes. A lot of heroes consider that matchup favorable, and you can lane a lot of additional options onto it compared to some other options in that suicide lane. However, it still just seems to find its place in any lineup. I mean, it can roam around, get active. Even if it's level 3, Bubbles can roam to the mid lane and gank, much like you saw Wretched Hag gank. So always able to find a way to make himself useful. Once he hits level 6, has one of the best team fight ultimates in the game at that point.
Oh, yeah, most certainly, and in a lot of different cases. Look at there on the Hellborn side, though. Fade, again, nothing radical about that, but Plague Rider picked up here for our Hellborn team, and it feels funny saying it that way, but again, Plague Rider kind of a hero that has died out somewhat. Now still brings a great presence with that level 1 deny on top of the extinguish for the laning phase in general. The Plague of his, as I like to call it, of course, is Plague Carrier, I think is the correct name here as far as what the ultimate's called. But I like to call it the Plague. Anyways, and the armor that he provides on top of that, it did get nerfed a while back, but still obviously very powerful. So a great hero in general, but again, kind of another hero haven't seen too much of. Soul Stealer, also another one of those picked up with the Glacius over here for the Legion side. So some fun picks kind of stepping up here for both sides. And hell, continuing it, Balfagor
joined the party. So okay, they picked Soul Stealer, a hero that's very vulnerable to early ganks, and a hero like Fade laning up against him. If there's some roam action, it can definitely set that up. The question will be, do they actually dual lane it with the support to box him out, to give Soul Stealer the early farm, and then move around? Are they going to set up some defensive wards? Are they going to take the aggressive ganker and Parasite and maybe go to the woods to stop a gank attempt as well? Or are they going to go for more of that dual lane setup and go for they're going for the rally.
Yeah, you're opening the door, though, obviously, for the Keeper of the Forest on top of
the Balfagor. They wanted that Keeper. You saw that with the Balf, draft. Something like a Keeper Plague Balfagor is going to set up some ridiculous teamfight AoE.
Yeah, you throw an engineer on top of it. They could still use a solid support, actually, when you look at this lineup, possibly. So, wouldn't be surprised to see him come to the table as well. He's Master of Arms, good option. I mean, again, definitely some options here for LPKK as they're tagged up. Farmer Rosa over here. There's the Master of Arms. You got to think it's Keeper. I mean,
that would be a
pick.
beastly push lineup. I mean,
Yeah.
if they have a Keeper of the Forest on top of this. Let's take a look at their lanes, though. Would they be able to make it work with the Keeper? They definitely should be.
Yeah.
The question will be, will they jungle that Keeper or not? I mean, they have a suicide option in Plague. They can run a Master support. Alongside that, a solo Balth. Also, if they were desperate, they could do something even like a suicide Keeper, run a support Plague to the Master or to the Fit. You wouldn't want to. I mean, those are some weak lanes you're looking at then. And you can't jungle the Balth. We've seen that before. We even saw Backstage Green had a strat that they were planning that you could maybe even potentially throw a jungle Balth as well.
That's
but
true.
Back in the day, I heard them talking about it on stream, but never really busted it out.
That was one of the secret strategies, going into the Han Tour Grand Finals that, we heard rumors of perhaps.
Yeah,
that
they talked about it later
Balthazar
on stream, how
yeah.
Chelsea was saying that jungle Balth is actually pretty decent. And not to be underestimated, I've seen him playing it before on stream, but yeah, probably not what they're going to go with.
Probably not. I'm thinking more of the jungle and keep here, honestly. We'll probably see it for them. Now, that could set up, especially if you get your Balthazar either in the middle or the top lane, of course. Eventually once it gets to level 6, and he joins up with the Balthazar. They just mass push the towers. So we'll see. Andromeda is the final pick. It definitely blends in nicely for a couple of reasons. The first one stands out to me is the minus armor effect. That on top of Soul Stealer. You got Soul Stealer and Rally dealing out good physical damage. Will be good for the team. Also another crowd control tool, of course. And great possibility to also attribute to a possible tri-lane setup here from our Legion side. Maybe an aggressive tri-lane with a Rally, Andromeda, Glacius, something like that. But we'll see.
You got a lot of ways for this Legion side to ignore armor. You look at the Rally passive where he ignores armor. You look at the Andromeda and the Soul Stealer's combined effects as the game goes on, and the damage steroid as well. So they'll scale pretty nicely. There's definitely going to be that Master of Arms support this game. Play Rider Suicide, Keeper Jungle, and then going to see that. Well, Balthazar and Fade, depending on who needs the extra support and where they throw them. It should be Balthazar in the side lane solo. They have bubbles that can go very easily, and otherwise a Fade Master in mid. I like the fact that they didn't go. Well, I mean, they could have gone Parasite and maybe had an impact that way with the support, and then having 2 solos. But outside of that, I like the fact that they're going to have some additional support and additional movement for the Soul Stealer. It seems like if you try to run Soul Stealer right now in any sort of solo setup and not like a side lane, he just gets torn apart. So probably more something like a side lane Soul Stealer carry against this Plague Rider. And that's pretty easy for him to do well in.
A setup we did see when Soul Stealer was a very popular hero on the competitive scene. A setup that we kind of saw if you were going to run a side that was that Glacius Soul Stealer possibility. They do have the makings of could possibly be that here.
Right.
Of course.
Well, and you can always just feel like, oh, you can't dual lane. So yeah, you can actually. And then besides that, you can just use the support to box the hero out of the lane. It's not like he's absorbing the experience, absorbing any gold.
Yeah.
He's just boxing the enemy hero out of the lane and buying him room, and then he's going to go roam and make himself useful elsewhere. So we'll see what he does. He actually doesn't have any pooled regen, which against a Plague Rider is typically a pretty big mistake. Actually, a little bit of a different build here onto the Plague Rider, though, starting with a Trinket of Restoration. That's not going to help him against the Soul Stealer at all, honestly, and in trading autos. He's still okay. I mean, the spam, we'll see how it works. I mean, Plague Rider is inherently pretty strong. Damage right now is very comparable to the Soul Stealer, so he can trade hits decently as long as he's nuking them, but...
It's not like he's using mana either. The Extinguish gives him mana back, if anything, so...
There's a lot of... I know.
But
so
it is
like
odd.
to see those stats so they can sort of really control the lane earlier on.
Definitely
it takes a while before the Trinket of Restoration pays for itself with that 2 health regen per second.
Yeah,
especially compared to an extra set of Blight Stones.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, he is doing it, and he's going to the bottom lane, and sure enough, it is going to be Soul Stealer down here. With that Andromeda Glacius nearby, so actually Plague Rider.
Actually, he's in the kill zone already. If they converge, he is in trouble.
Oh, yeah, and he knows it right away. Andromeda's going to come to the side. There's the Common Stun. Glacius coming in. He has a freeze, actually, not going the Q, going to the W. Says one Demon Hand hits right there to the auto attack, going to help finish him off, and down goes Plague Rider. So Plague Rider gets killed. Bloodlust kill coming out for One Love playing the Soul Stealer. A thing to note there, though, Soul Stealer going the Demon Hands first, which that's also...
going to miss out on some souls. He'll be able to quickly, though, so it won't matter too much. And on top of that, I mean, he didn't need to, obviously, because he had 2 support heroes there, but made it quicker. And he missed a little bit of experience going for it, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it for the Bloodlust kill. And makes more sense as to why he didn't need any additional regen, because he's not strictly 1v1ing this Plague Rider in the first place. He does have that support.
And you see Glacius, obviously. After the Bulldoze kill, he comes over to the middle lane, and it is going to be your Glacius rally against a Fade Master of Arms in the end. So definitely some solid kill potential. Well, on both sides, you know, if they get the support caught out of position, maybe pushed up a little bit too far on either side, could definitely be some possible kills to happen. So keep an eye here on this middle lane. The top matchup, though, it does leave your Bubbles versus a Balfagor. Again, not usually a hero we see too often on the competitive scene, but definitely has potential for sure as far as his pushing presence goes. And I think he's going to do just fine up here against the Bubbles, of course.
Yeah, went for
vice
a
versa, though.
build who doesn't have obviously 3 regen items, only 6 Blight Zones to start off with, but it's fine because he's against a melee hero. Belfagor has a really hard time putting out any sort of harass early on in this lane, and he's just being very, very aggressive on those auto attacks, as you can see, just keeping Belfagor off the wave. Currently has the huge creep wave helping him out get last hits as well, because Belfagor can't really approach, or else he'll have the creep wave on him if he nukes.
Yeah. Maybe get the in-game sound up a little bit here, if we could. Just, I want to get that real feel, you know, of the game. You know, like we're in Heroes of New Earth almost. Oh, and good timing, actually, because Rowley's running in right here, but no, he actually gets counter-stunned first by Master of Arms. And we're not going to see the follow-up, so shout out to Fox account over there. Coming through. Stepping up the duties of the producer this today at least. Panman still on vacation. He's going to be heading back, but S2 Fox account doing just a fine job. Master of Arms in the meantime in the middle lane going to be going down. Is he? One more auto attack? Yes! It is going to go off, and Glacius will get credit for the kill. Rowley's taking a lot of damage from Fade. Fade thinking about chasing with that Burning Shadows coming up, but not going to be enough. Bottles delivered, and Zvor's here playing the rally.
He gives him a bottle. Oh, no. Let's see. Glacius had the mana for maybe a bottle charger with the mana, and they stunned the Fade instantly without the Master back. Maybe they could have picked up something, but no.
Yeah.
Fade, 400 gold. Doesn't have her bottle yet. So,
oh,
she's
geez,
quite behind.
yeah.
By the time she gets her bottle, she's looking to rally with boots.
Well, yeah, you look at her creep farm, it's definitely not the best at all. In fact, going to be gone once again right here. Rally coming in with the compel initially. The auto attacks to follow, and Fade will eventually fall. Glacius with that double damage Druid, especially this early on. That is a pretty big threat. And we saw right there how quickly Fade dropped. So this aggressive dual lane here of Rowley Glacius really paying off. And again, you look back at Fade's creep farm, initially it was a 2 versus 1 in their favor. But Rowley was able to hold his ground just fine as he usually would, and once Glacius came over, it has just made life that much more difficult now. So not the best of starts here for the Hellborn team as a whole, honestly.
Andromeda stacking the bull camp, and meanwhile also stacking the medium camp on the far upper right of the jungle, but unlucky for Soul Stealer, those are all Wild Hunters. Given some lucky spawns, it can be really easy at level 5 or 7 to go over there and triple Demon Hand and pick up the creep kills. Balfagor, now that he's leveled up quite a bit, using those minions to box Bubbles out further, so this might be a bit more of a problem. He did get his bottle, I should say. He was lacking regen at the start and with those minions, but he did get his bottle. So pretty much solo dominating this lane and pushing it out here against Bubbles.
That's what a Balfagor does. Meanwhile, back to the middle lane, though. Fade's actually in trouble once again. Burning Shadows, the call on top of the button. Comet stun comes out from I Am Fish, playing that Andromeda, roaming in and sets up or guarantees the kill more so on a Fade right there. Good job of trying to maybe turn it around if not stay alive, but obviously just too much in the end, especially with that roaming Andromeda coming out there.
This is the problem with a Keeper of the Forest jungle too. A lot of times, like a Demented Shaman support or a Plague Rider support and things like that too, is he has no presence early on. He can't go and help out this mid lane, which has fallen, but none of the lanes can help out mid lane right now until they get level 6 and then go roam. So given the fact that none of the lanes, Balfagor can't help especially, all he can do is start pushing. If you're looking at one thing, it might be, see, what do you do, roam with the Plague Rider? I mentioned Plague Rider, realizing they have him on the same team. That is just, they can't do anything.
It's a very passive team over here.
Yeah, so they're basically saying, hey, we have a passive jungler, we're automatically going to lose mid, because if you roam with Andromeda or get a lucky kill, we're going to fall behind and we're going to lose this entire game because we won't be able to get momentum back. Not entirely, so I mean, they can still make something happen. They have excellent push, but Master Farm's going down quickly there. Didn't even need the Andromeda Comet stun, but at this point, they need to just let Balfagor do as well as he can. Maybe even focus on trying to pick up a kill on Bubbles, who just hit level 6 here. Do something, take out that tower and start moving on the map and going for that team fight. Get level 6 on Keeper, get that Ring of Sorcery, and then just go for it sooner than later, because Plague Rider 6, Keeper 6, Balfagor, you're looking for that AoE wombo combo against a team that might not be able to withhold, and if they win one team fight, at that point they'll be back in the game.
No
but
doubt.
they have to go for it sooner than later.
Yeah, that's the start point here, no doubt, for the Hellborn team. One Love trying to go for kill right there. He's actually tanking the creep wave even. But Plague Rider is going to be fun in the end, and it's going to heal up, of course, again, with having that Trinket of Restoration. He actually gets the boots earlier on, so he's running pretty quick here as well. But, yeah, you got to think that window, it's going to be here very, very shortly. Grouping up, maybe getting some kills out of it because of those AoE abilities, maybe pushing a couple of towers here.
Yeah.
It's definitely coming out, so we'll keep an eye out for that coming out for the Hellborn team. More rune control coming out from Glacius. The third rune going to go in his favor yet again. This one happens to be Invis. And he is going to just camp here in the middle lane, waiting for any kind of opportunity. Seismic Slam is not up for 9 seconds, so maybe at least going to wait for that.
Probably so.
To go for the kill here.
They'll have to watch the double stun once he does. I mean, I saw them grouping up quite a bit here. So.
Uh-oh. You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Oh, no. He had a moment right there.
Is he going to go?
It was short. No. It was short, but it was...
Yep. Thinking about it. There's a freeze. Oh, missed though! The compel miss. Will it matter? Yes, he's going to be stunned in the meantime. Master of Arts making his getaway. There goes the call. It's not going to hit with a Seismic Slam. Now Rally's in a lot of trouble, actually. One more auto attack on him. He's out of bottle charges. Are they going to dive? No, they are not. So Rally is going to survive. But that was a couple of whiffs there.
Yeah, he went for the double stun as you're talking about because he needed to get them both out the lockdown in order to land his ultimate. Yeah, unfortunate for him. So that buys them some room, though. They know the Rally ultimate's down. I was mentioning before they couldn't stick in the lanes because of the kill potential. They're just slowly losing out across the board. Bottom lane, Soul Stealer's out farming the Plague.
Yeah.
You know, the top lane, Bubbles is doing decently. Of course, Belphegor is controlling this matchup, but he's still sitting at 230 gold per minute, holding off the Belphegor. And there's the keeper minions, though. So
here we go.
Probably gonna have to sack tier 1. But given tier 2, Bubbles has his ultimate. That lockdown will give them what they need to, I would say, defend against any further pushing.
Uh-oh. The tower is in deny range. Rally and a drop to come in. Bubbles going with the compel actually right in their face. How are they going to get the deny on the towers? That's a big thing. Rally looking to follow up. He does get the compel. So the comes on top of that. Root coming over Keeper the Forest, though. Trying to save Belphegor. He is going to be far for now, but Glacius coming out for the side. However, Plague Rider, uses the Plague Rider. Does bounce the hell out of it. What's coming out? Glacius will fall. The Rally's trying to chase right here. Has a compel up in 3 seconds. Tower does get denied. And that is going to be the end of that fight right there. So again, a little bit of a couple of fights going on right there. But, you know, in the big picture, honestly worked out pretty good for the Legion team, really. Able to push them back and deny the tower on top of it.
That's really picked up an important kill. I actually know it was a Glacius start. He's not going to land that. So. Doing a lot of great body blocking, though.
Is it going to be enough for the kill still?
Well, the follow-up compel will be certain.
Yep, one more auto attack. Yep, more than enough. So he just dives. No TP support coming in whatsoever.
Why did it feel like that Plague Rider was so slow? I guess he was trying to juke him so much that he kept autoing him. So yeah, not able to receive any support, and all of a sudden...
Yeah. It's looking that much worse now. I mean, again, that's what we're talking about. You were bringing up a good point of, this is the case here for this Hellborn team of, they were already in a time crunch in the sense they needed to get together, at least push some towers, at least make a team fight happen in their favor to start looking good in this game. But it failed attempt number 1. We'll see how this one goes here in the middle lane. Keeper the Forest. Root's not up for 39 seconds, so they didn't even have a keeper root here. The Legion team, I'm sure, knows that. Silence going to come out on a rally in the meantime. Keeper the Forest be locked on the background. Burning Shell's done. Glacius may fall right here, but already gets the kill on a fade. Belphegor diving big time. The couple going to keep him in place. Souls do their ultimate going off right there. Master's Call going to be using himself on a Master of Arms. Not going to matter in the end, though. And he, too, eventually will go down. Rally's in the background, still barely alive. Portal Key going in from Soul Stealer right there. Takes out Plague Rider. And Keeper of the Forest just is forced to walk away in the meantime. So it just got really ugly now.
All right, so before the Rally picked up the kill onto the Plague, it was actually looking pretty decent. They were only 700 gold behind, which you can easily make up with a tower push. Experience was equal. It looked like they still had a chance.
Yep.
They went into that fight, and, well, what were the 2 major things they were missing?
Keeper Root.
Keeper Root and Plague Ultimate. They're trying to force major team fights in a game they're behind a little bit with a completely team fight-centric lineup without having the major components that'll let them win the fight in the first place. So had they waited, they'd be looking at a different game. But now they're going to try another push with their ultimates up, but now they're going to be in a huge hole. They're going to be in a 6K drop, a 3,700 experience, and all of a sudden the Legion team has full confidence going into this encounter. So just having a little bit of patience there That's something the team leader needs to do and say, hey, wait, we're going to time our pushes according to our ultimate. So we're going to farm the woods here, counter push out the lanes as much as we can so they don't get ground on us, and then we're going to go fight right away with our ultimates. But yeah, not happening right now, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, they do have them up here, so again, kind of, I guess, third time's a charm is what they're hoping for here. As far as making a team fight happen, pushing some towers. You see the Legion side there already setting up the defense. Again, Soulsteer does have that portal key. We saw that in the last fight. Has already managed to pick that up on top of his level 9. He's building up those souls here, which he currently has 24 of. The Soul Burst ultimate is going to be up in about 18 seconds here. So he should be able to use that for the team fight coming in. That's another thing actually that we're seeing more and more from this Legion side. I mean, look at the Demon Hands just clear up the trees right there. They're already jetting. Jumps Rally right there, trying to get inside the side. Cuffs it on top of that, dropping the pulse. There goes the kill on a Balfgor. Seeming not in trouble, and Master of Arms going down. But the Legion team just absolutely annihilating the Hellboy inside. The Plague was bouncing around in the background, but Bubble's able to get away with the Haste Rune, and Plague Rider will fall on top of that. A genocide for nothing in the Legion's favor, and if the Hellborn team could concede, I'm sure they honestly would be right now.
Yeah, they didn't even use Rally Ultimate. They didn't use Soul Stealer Ultimate, which now he has max souls for. Going to be a Shrunken Head in no time for him, which he should do going against this AoE lineup. So if you're using a portal, you don't want to blink into your dad. Looks like he's trying to build up an Energizer, but in a game like this where Andromeda already has it and he just got this massive gold surge, he doesn't need it. Going to pick it up anyway. Yeah, it's rare for me to say he doesn't need it. Yeah, he's going to go for it, which is fine, just making use of the items.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, going to pick up that Mighty Blade. He'll have all of the stats he needs to work with. And the nice thing about Soul Stealer is look at that. Intelligence, Steam Boots, Energizer. Look how much mana he has. 741. That kind of power supply. You pretty much infinitely farm. You look. Oh, that is a major component of a lot of agility carries that people don't realize is that Steam Boots Energizer combination is so powerful because of all the stats it gives you. As long as you're using in Steam Boots when you farm neutrals, clearways, stuff like that, it just gives you so much farming power.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, you see the Demon Hand's only costing 80 mana for each one, so it's keeping that mana pool up there, and as he said, really maximizing that farming potential for him. So I know if you're the Hellborn team here, you got to be at this point of again kind of frustrated. I'm sure is not much more of a window that you got here. I mean, as far as your carry potential goes, you really don't have any. You were basically relying. It was a I hate saying the word all in honestly because it's not really that, but it was a strategy of which is fine. We see it from time to time of they were going for that early game aggression, the early game team fight push. And out of 3 attempts now, it has just gone not in their favor whatsoever. So you see the Golden Experience League completely for the Legion team. And like I was saying earlier, if they could concede already, they probably would. But, we're 13:45 in right now, so poor coming in from Keeper at the bottom lane. They're probably going to give it one last go here, as they might as well. But you got to think the chances of success at this point are pretty mediocre to very little here at this time of the game. I mean, their ultimates are going to be up, so Plague's coming up in about 6 seconds right here. But you're looking at a point now where, look at Andromeda even, or 800 life, she has a Mystic Vestments on top of that. I mean,
yeah, Rally has his helm. Lexelios level 2 and had enough gold, honestly, for level 3, but wanted to use it on a port instead. Didn't have a teammate pick it up for him, so very close to Lexelios level 3. I've actually been curious to see players. I'll talk about it afterwards, though. The fight's about to break out. Fate's Invis.
Very possible. Oh no, Fame gets spotted right here. Actually going to open on a Rally. There's the Burning Shadows coming up. Meanwhile, down here, Balfgor trying to get the distraction. Rally gets a great compel off the Master. Rally's going to run. The hell I knew what's going to come out. Not going to matter though. Kelfield's going to be used. The Plague is bouncing around in the background. It may get 1 kill. Yes, it will on Iglesias, but the damage has already been done here by the Legion team. Soul Stealer running in. He already used the Soul Burst. Demon has to take out Fade right there. Plague Rider is going to TP away. Keeper of the Force, on the other hand, he needs to run away because there is that the Bound Eye coming in right here. Bubbles jumping in, and they will set up the kill into him. Splendid indeed. Yeah, they're calling the GG well plays. Understandably, it is going to be a 15-minute concede victory here in favor of Moo Cows. What is it? Mooing Cows House, I believe. MC House. We'll call them that for sure. But anyways, congratulations to them. Again, it is just game number 1. With that said, in a best out of 3 series. But, again, the earlier rounds like this, around a 64 for a fun tournament, it's bound to happen with these more one-sided matches. So, at the same time, though, again, it was a strategy favoring towards the early game. They needed that early game push to happen. It didn't. It fell apart from there. So, not much else to really say about it, I guess. But
Rally that game actually picked up a Lex Talionis too. I've been curious to see waiting to see if Tanky Heroes experiment with picking it up instead of vestments. It does give you that magic armor. I think when it's maxed out, because you what is it, 4 magic? There's three or 4 magic armor. 3 magic armor, I guess that's it. So not quite like vestments, but it gives you that armor too. And yeah, you went for it that game, I guess, because they were being a lot aggressive. But I'm sure they didn't really care too much. They had a pretty dominating lead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those cases of, we got a good lead here. Let's maybe have some fun with it, something a little bit different. But again, so game number 1 going to Mooing Cow's house here in the Ultimate Series Pandasoul tournament. Keep saying Pandasoul. Obviously, it is Wild Soul, but Pandasoul is the name of the Ultimate Avatar. I mean, the Panda. And in case you haven't noticed yet, I do got the Panda hat going on. Wait, we hadn't even talked. I'm just casting as if that's normal.
I think I threw a side comment or something.
Got that. We got Pandemonium here. It's all Panda all over the place. We got the Panda back there, as you can see. So we're having some fun with the Panda.
New Heroes of the North expansion.
It is. Let's just say Pandaroo, who was very happy for this hero here at SG Games. He was very. This is Panda. Shout out to Pandaroo with that said. He let me borrow this for this cast here, so we're having some fun. All right, and actually before we go into the break here, I did want to, if we could go back to my screen right here real quickly, I want to show you guys again the brackets of what we're looking at as far as the teams that we're dealing with here in this Ultimate Series event. So like we were talking about, just like the Monkey King tournament, again, it's all 64 spots were filled up. We got some quality teams. You know, you look at the top right there, we got VDT. You start scrolling down. Even some names that you recognize from the last event, Donkey Kong Mine Land. But you got VDT, Justice League, of course, Team Excellent. These are the seeded teams. They're going through the Internet Gangsters, Locomotives, Jolem and crew. We are dealing with Too Much Sugar, of course, Too Much Sugar and their situation. And actually, let's talk about that just real quickly here while we do have a little bit of time. Yep. Too Much Sugar, so their situation of Moon Meander did officially announce, I guess more so Complexity even, officially announced that Complexity is no longer involved with Heroes of New Earth, unfortunately. Great gaming organization, of course. Great to have them around as long as they were, but back to the case of, dropping the team. Obviously, after DreamHack, let's just say players were trying to go their own ways to an extent. You could tell that. So, of course, Tralfamador and Peter. I think they might be done with Han. We'll see, down the line if that 100% is the case, but they moved on. Moon Meander, he did announce that he is officially joining up with Slicks and Keizu and their team. So I don't know if what their 5-man roster is officially going to be still yet.
But officially stabilized that. You see Shams and Nova are still playing with them. On top of that.
Well, who is on the roster for this? Zai. It is B-Kid's even a part of it, too.
Oh, wait,
wow.
B-Kid, not Zai. Sorry, I said
B-Kid, Enzo, Shams.
Oh, wait, Enzo's on there?
Yeah.
Did it change today before the tournament?
I don't know. Maybe it did.
I thought I was looking yesterday night at, who's on Too Much, and then,
yeah.
Either way, Enzo. Interesting. I'm sure he's still feeling. I know he wanted to get back into the game. We'll see what he does, but
dabbling back a little bit.
B-Kid and Enzo, that's definitely okay. That is. I definitely looked at it either earlier today or yesterday. That roster has been updated, but
that's it. Okay.
And so, let's see what he does there then.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting. You just look at those names right there. That's a powerful lineup, definitely. But again, it's just like the last tournament with the Monkey King tournament. It was a case of, you said Zai was also playing with them. Nova was playing with them. Clearly not on this roster tournament. So they're feeling things out, trying to see, what makes sense, of course. But it sounds like Moon, Slicks, and Keizu are the core. Those are the 3 right now that it sounds like they're going to be a team. It's just a matter of which 2 are going to be joining them. So, yeah, excited to see, where that leads us. And we'll definitely watch them later on in this event, I'm sure, here when it comes to this tournament. But we're going to take a short break right here. We will have game number 2, of course, going to be coming back for you guys. So stay tuned. The Ultimate Series Pandasoul tournament continues here on Honcast. We'll be right back. Almost.